The Australian Ghost Whisperer with Caterina Legato and James Jennings.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Australian Ghost Whisperer. Caterina Legato, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, James. How are you?
I'm very well. Have you been doing lots of readings and house clearings and things for clients this week?
Yeah, I have. I've been doing lots of readings and lots of house clearings. Yeah, it seems to be a really big time of change for most people, and therefore they are kind of seeking that change within their homes also, that
Mhm.
change of energy. So there's lots of healing taking place at the moment amongst people, which is great.
It is great. It is great.
Yeah, because the energy of your home matters. You know, if you have a home with lovely, peaceful energy, then you're going to feel good. Your kids are going to feel good, and you can grow and prosper and heal. But if the energy in your home is all, topsy turvy, then you're going to feel that way, and you're going to sleep as well, and you're going to feel as peaceful. Mm,
Yeah, absolutely.
mm,
And the topic of this episode we're going to do today, Katerina, as you know, is we're going to talk about the divine feminine. But before we dive into that big topic, uh, we're going to talk about one of the questions you get asked the most by your clients, which
mm.
is, when am I going to have a baby? Everyone wants to know when they're going to have a baby. And you have some particular psychic insights into when and how babies come into people's lives. So I reckon there's a lot of people who are going to want to hear about this. So lay it on us.
Yes, in my entire career, I must say that has been and still is the most popular question.
Go
When
on.
am I going to fall pregnant? And so I know that here in the physical world, we live by time, and and women are kind of, they're kind of taking that kind of stance of, oh, I want to be pregnant in the next 3 months, or I want to be pregnant this year, or whatever the scenario is. And, because everybody has a timetable. It's like, oh, if I do it now, then I can take time off. So therefore, it becomes quite a difficult one for women because they begin to feel quite frustrated when it doesn't happen according to their time schedule that they're
Hmm.
wanting it to happen. And the biggest thing that I always reinforce with them is that the souls in the spirit world are completely unaware of time. Linear time in the spirit world does not exist.
Hmm.
And therefore, that soul may not be ready to come through into this world at the required timeline of, say, the parents, because that little soul may be still going through whatever various experiences it's having in the spirit world. It also takes a great deal of courage to leave the spirit world, which is truly our true home, and make that journey into the physical world. So that little soul sometimes can be kind of thinking about it, or perhaps they're kind of going through whatever growth and healing they're needing before they're ready to make that journey. So therefore, even though the parents might be ready and we want it to happen this year, that soul will only, the little child, the little baby's soul will only come through when it feels ready. And
Mm.
there's nothing that anyone can do about it.
Yeah.
That soul must be ready to make that journey at its own pace.
Mm.
Mm.
I've heard a great analogy, which is that life here on Earth, comparing it to the spirit world, being here is very much like putting on a virtual reality headset and living in a virtual reality game, except it's like a super intense, super immersive, super hardcore virtual reality game. So, and in spirit, you don't have struggles and you don't have all of the parts of human life that can be difficult. So up there, it's like you're basically kicking back, having a Hawaiian holiday pretty much 24/7. Life is peachy, and to want to come here and engage again in this very intense game, like you said, probably does take like a lot of courage, or at least certainty that that is what you want to do. Is that fair
Yeah.
to say?
They're living in a very expanded state of consciousness in the spirit world. So
Mm.
it's always that they need to shrink
Yes.
to make their journey into the physical world,
Mm.
where we feel very limited
Mm.
and very like sometimes you feel really squashed in this little body when you're this incredibly expanded being in the spirit world where you can experience anything you like and all things.
Mm.
And to leave that to come here, it's almost cruel, isn't it?
Yeah.
We should never have children. Should let them be and frolicking in the universes. Hey,
Yeah.
that's what I feel like. But look, I understand that. And yes, children are very loved when they come into this world. But it is a detachment from that experience that they're having that is beautiful, unlimited, and expanded
Mm.
into a very much where we're 3D, very limited, very controlled, um, and sometimes quite difficult. Children have all kinds of challenges, so
Mm.
yeah, which is it's a bit of a worry. So, but yes, there's a lot of joy and happiness and love and all the rest of it here when they do. Are very loved when they do, when they are born. But so that's why, so I always say to parents, you just simply need to surrender it and allow it. It'll happen when that little soul is ready to come through.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. To draw another video game analogy, I have a good friend who's spiritually minded, and he said there's a game called Minecraft, Caterina. Now, I wouldn't expect you to be aware of it because video games are
No.
not your bag. They're not mine either, really, but I have heard of Minecraft. And there is two settings, or there's maybe more settings in Minecraft, but one setting you can be in like, I think it's called creator mode, and literally you fly around and you
Mm,
can build things and
mm,
everything's easy and nothing tries to harm you and it's like, it's like being in the spirit realm. But if you're a player, you can get bored and be like, well, I'm flying around and it's kind of cool, but like I'm not really doing anything. And so you can change it to like a different mode where you can't fly, you're in the game, things are trying to attack you and kill you, you've got these missions to do, da 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 da. So it's almost like, and he used that as an analogy, it's like you can be in that state of bliss where everything's cool because it's eternal, but occasionally you're like, you know what, I'm going to play a hard game just to keep my soul, I don't know, active, interested, learning. I don't know, but I thought that was a pretty good analogy for
yeah, yeah,
spirit.
it is.
Yeah. Well, enough about computer games and having babies. We're going to talk about the divine feminine, Katerina. So perhaps to begin, can you explain to any of our listeners or viewers who aren't familiar with the concept of the divine feminine and explain what it is?
So the divine feminine energy represents the feminine aspect of a person, male or female. Within us, we have the male, the female, which is known as the yin yang energies. And when we are in harmony and balance with these two energies, we live from a space of inner peace, intuition, compassion. But when these energies are out of sync, we can shift to more of the male energy, which is very aggressive and kind of hard, and we switched off from our emotions and we're in our heads a lot. So therefore, I believe that, sadly, with a lot of women, and I have included myself being when I was a single mother, we tend to, this is a very male dominated world, a lot of male, a lot of testosterone flying around the world. So therefore, as women, we have become quite kind of, we've had to bring out more of that that male energy to exist within this reality. So a lot of that divine feminine is kind of left to the side because we're busy having careers, we're working hard, we're single parents, we're doing things on our own these days. So this is what is meant by the divine feminine, and we can see how it has become lost in the world, because everything is run by males, governments run by male, the male system, a lot of the medical systems are run by males. So therefore, here we are as women trying to find that feminine aspect of ourselves within this very strong male energy.
Mm.
And that's been quite lost. And I feel that there is this shift in consciousness amongst women that they are now seeking to step more into that divine feminine. And, women are becoming more interested in developing their psychic gifts, their intuition, compassion, all of those things, because they're trying to awaken that female divine feminine aspect of themselves and realize that there's still real strength in that. It doesn't mean it's a sign of weakness and that you're just going to be sitting around with a little fan going, oh my God, I'm so hot. It means that, that you are very powerful when you step into this divine feminine energy of yourself. So I've been speaking to many women about maybe meditating and connecting more with the beautiful divine goddesses like Mother Mary, Mother Magdalene, the Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. These are very powerful feminine energies that once we begin to meditate and connect, we realize our own power as women. But we are also bringing these abilities into our lives. And if enough of us do it, then I feel that slowly we can shift this planet from the very male-dominated version that it is with all this testosterone flying around to a more balanced energy where the yin-yang can come together and live in peace and harmony. Hence why, so many people have so many issues in relationships, so many people, especially women. I'm honestly speaking to more and more women who are like, right, I'm done. I'm giving up on love. I've been out there, or I've been divorced. I've gone out there enough and I'm done. If you're too strong, they don't like it. If you're too feminine, they don't like it. And they're pulling away because women are just kind of deciding that I have my career, I have my home, I have stability. I don't need a male in my life because I'm fine.
Yep.
I've learned to be a male almost. So, and I think that's really sad because they're denying themselves the love that they do deserve, and I feel that men are very confused. It's like men are from Mars and women are from Venus, because I also speak to a lot of male clients who are like, I just don't know how to communicate with my wife or girlfriend anymore. We seem to fight a lot, or I can't find love, and so there's all this sort of disharmony going on between, males and females. So I feel that there's this great healing that I feel that is taking place. And I feel that can only be when more and more women come together and begin to step into that more feminine aspect, that feminine energy, rather than being always in that constant male energy. To help bring that balance back.
Yeah.
A long-winded answer. Sorry, James.
No. It's a good answer. And it's a thorough answer. It's great. And I was just going to say, from the perspective of a male, when I was younger, and certainly from my parents' generation and generations going back, men being emotional or showing emotions or being in touch with their emotions was often seen as weakness or a sign of weakness, which is awful. Like, and that's an awful, awful thing for society to kind of, I guess, brainwash men into thinking that like they can't have these emotions, they can't express themselves. So that divine feminine part of themselves gets shut down, and nothing good comes from repression of any form. You know, you have to express who you really are. I have seen things change. Like, I do think that looking at younger people now, it's far more acceptable and common for men to be able to express their feelings and be, you know, fully emotionally rounded beings. And I think it's wonderful. Like, I know lots of young people who are like that, you know, they are hearts on their sleeves kind of guys. And I'm like, this is good. Like, it wasn't common when I was younger, and I'm sure it was even less common when my dad was younger. So there does seem to be a bit of a shift in that it's becoming more acceptable. But then on the other extreme, you do find these men who are really anchoring down into this, like, no, this is what men are, and men should be this, and women should be this, and you know, they're really desperately holding on to those um, what's the word I'm looking for? Archetypes. They're holding on to these like kind of outdated archetypes of what men and women should be, and as a result, you can't. This is when you, as you know, when you grip on too tightly to the past, and you can't grow, you can't progress, you can't develop into anything else. So I'm seeing you see both. You see both. You see it going the right way, and you see some people desperately hanging on, trying to keep that suppression happening. Would you say that's something that you also witness, Kat, with your
Oh,
clients?
I totally agree with you. I do feel the younger generation, especially the males, are a lot more in touch with that feminine aspect of themselves, 100%. And I feel that that's part of the shift of timeline from, again, this very male-dominated world that we've had for such a long time into more of a balanced where that divine feminine has a place in the world and is loved and respected, you know, because they still feel people will turn their noses up at, you know, a female president, and they much more prefer a male president, or,
Absolutely. Yeah, they do.
you know, yeah, there's still that kind of way of thinking out there. But I do feel now that, yeah, this younger generation is embracing their emotions and allowing themselves to feel them, to have a cry if they need to. And and girls, you know, so a lot of the girls are, you know, I'm seeing like they're more girly, like they're just kind of enjoying. Like you see them and they're getting their little nails done and they're getting their lashes done. Not, I know that that's all kind of superficial stuff, but I feel that it kind of represents that, you know, I want to look like a woman. I want to feel like, you
Sure.
know, beautiful and sexy and everything that, you know, the female goddess should be. Um, so
Mm.
the change is happening, but I just feel that, yeah, I feel for almost all women, um, that, yeah, meditating and drawing in Mother Mary, Mother Magdalene, Mother Earth, connecting with that feminine consciousness will help also to heal that part of you where that you've denied for so long, that you've always, because due to whatever circumstances you found yourself in, you needed to take on that very male sort of energy and that very male lifestyle of, you know, looking after yourself, looking after kids, and, you know, working in the corporate world and under pressure and meetings where there's feeling like there's been no space for to be able to just shine and feel like that beautiful, you know, feel that goddess energy.
Mm.
So it is important, I feel, as part of the healing, um, because as we heal, we're also healing the future generations.
Yeah, yeah, we are. And I wanted to bring up as well, just quickly, something I thought was interesting, which kind of ties into what you're talking about. There's a gentleman in the US called Ryan Bledsoe who has had a lot of contact with, I guess you could say, otherworldly beings. And before, you know, anyone who's listening or watching might dismiss that, let's just say that what has gone on in his life is serious enough that he's drawn the attention of government officials, NASA officials. Very high-ranking military people have befriended him, and they wouldn't do that if this was a guy making up stories. So something is going on with this guy that the big ups in the military want to know about what's going on, and he has been in contact with a being that who identified herself as Hathor. And Hathor was an ancient Egyptian goddess of love and beauty and fun and music and all these wonderful things. And uh, oh, sorry, it's Chris Bledsoe. It's not Ryan Bledsoe. Ryan's his son. Anyway, Chris Bledsoe has said that he also identifies this woman as the divine feminine, and that the woman told him that the divine feminine energy was going to become the dominant energy on the earth very soon, and it would actually
Mm,
lead to a very, very prolonged period of peace on earth.
mm,
But before that, it's probably going to be some wars and some awful stuff, because obviously for one energy to come in, the other one's going to fight to hang on.
yeah.
But she was quite adamant that there is going to be a very big shift, which is going to, I guess, turn humanity back to a place of peace and healing. Now, whether or not that is true or it comes to fruition, it sure sounds nice. I think that's great. Bring it on. Bring on this divine feminine energy to bring restore peace and balance and intuition, and all those aspects that are deemed feminine that are lacking in humanity. You know,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
all more
Absolutely.
empathetic, intuitive, compassionate people. We would be living in a very different world. We wouldn't be killing each other. We wouldn't be killing the planet. So bring it on. That's what I've got to say.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no real progress happening in this world. There's a lot of destruction, and things are going to fall apart before they can get better. And maybe that, unfortunately, will be the wake-up call for humanity, that, that need for the more feminine and to making decisions from that space of love and compassion is needed, rather than these broad rooms full of males just thinking, let's destroy and make money, into how can we heal the earth? How can we cause the less damage and less harm to this world and to all beings that, live in this world? So I do believe that change needs to happen. And I hope it doesn't get to the point where humanity first needs to self destruct itself before that happens. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, absolutely. Mm.
Yeah. Well, look, let's hope that energy manifests in a strong, powerful way. Maybe in the future, down the track, sometime you can do like maybe a divine feminine meditation that people can
Yeah, I would love that.
own. I think that would be a very lovely.
Yeah, I have my beautiful Mother Mary pendant on today. I've been um, meditating quite a bit with the beautiful Mother Mary energy and using her within my healings for people. And it's very powerful. Like my clients go, wow, I really felt the power of her energy. So she is coming through and she is trying to help. So yeah,
I like it. I
I
like
would love to do a meditation for everybody. Let us know if you would like that.
it. I'm just creating jobs for you on the spot, Kat.
That's okay. I love it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
No, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you for schooling us on the divine feminine and how it works, and how it is hopefully going to make a bit more of a comeback in humanity to balance things out. And yeah, I'm sure we'll have more things to discuss on our next episode of the Weird and Wonderful.
Yes,
All right. Well,
we shall.
thanks for your time, Caterina, and thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It helps us get our episodes out there and get seen. We appreciate it, and we love you. And we will see you on our next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
To gain access to private spiritual development classes, guided meditations, please visit www.patreon, that's patreon.com/The Australian Ghost Whisperer.